friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Molly. I'm the founder, owner, operator, everything for Lacquer22, a small nail polish company. But today we are talking makeup, and more specifically, we're talking rainbow makeup. I am a huge fan of color when it comes to my eyeshadow. However, I'm not a huge like rainbow specific color. Like if the color is in the rainbow, I typically don't love that specific shade of that color. I hope that makes sense. Like the green type of the rainbow green, I don't like that green. I like a lot of other kinds of greens, but not that specific rainbow green. So we're gonna rank my rainbow palettes today, and I feel like this is gonna say a lot about me and my preferences. So let's go ahead and get started. We do have a little bit of a shorter video on our hands today because there's only 8 palettes that I'm raking. Now, for full disclosure, these are not all your typical rainbow palettes. So you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But because I'm not a huge rainbow person, only a couple of these are true rainbow palettes and others are just very close to rainbow palettes. So let's get started. You can see what I mean. Our 8th spot, our last place, is unfortunately going to be the Unearthly Get Groovy palette. Now, I really enjoy this palette, so don't get me wrong. It's not that I dislike it. It's just that this color story is a little too rainbow spot on for me. I really like the shimmers, like a lot. But the shades in here aren't fantastic for me. I don't love the blue and the green in this palette, or that purple actually. But there's also an issue in here for me for formula and quality. Some of these pigments, some of the mattes are pressed pigments instead of eyeshadow. And I believe that's what the problem is for me, because a lot of times pressed pigments just don't, we're not besties. We don't get along super great. The ones in here that I believe are regular shadows instead of pressed pigments are much better, and I like them a lot more. I don't know. I don't absolutely love the formula of every shade, and I don't absolutely love the color of every shade. So unfortunately, it's the lowest on the totem pole. Eee. Number 7. So this is actually what I'm wearing today. Number 7, I feel like this has become a cult classic, kind of a like must have. This is the Blend Bunny Blends palette. Hear me out, okay? I love that this is all the mattes you could ever need. Every color is in here. I don't love some of the undertones of these shades. For example, the yellows. I don't like most of those yellows. I only like Serendipity. I enjoy that we have the black and white here. I love that. Cool neutral, warm neutral, all the rainbow shades. And of course the typical Blend Bunny different depths of each color. I really love that. I don't know, I just don't love that we don't have any shimmers in here. I don't love some of the undertones. It's a good palette. I'm wearing it today. I do enjoy it. It's just not my favorite for rainbows. Next up, we have Cosmic Brushes, Cosmic Beauty, Delicious Delights. Now this is a beautiful palette. Look at this. I love the tones in here so much. I think they're really fun. I love that we have kind of a lime green and a mint green. I love that we have these blues down here. This is more of a periwinkle shade. I just feel like some of these colors are really unique to have in a palette all in one. I don't love that this purple is the deepest shade. To be fair, rainbow palette, it's typically not going to be very deep, but I feel like if we could have a deeper blue, deeper green or something, that would have really added, especially this multi-chrome duochrome. That pink is really bright, but when you turn it, it turns into more of that green gold shade, which I just don't really feel can blend into any of these mattes very well. So I don't love that it's in here. I think a darker matte would have been a little bit better for me rather than that duochrome. But I think it's really pretty. I love these matte shades so much. Shimmers aren't my favorite from this brand. It's just not, they're not very sparkly. They're not very impactful. So not my top choice for formula. But again, the colors of this palette I think are super, super pretty and a fun combo that you don't really see very often. In fourth place, we have the Solman 2 palette from Oden's Eye. I think this is really pretty. One of the things I really love about Oden's Eye is that their shimmers are typically fairly textured looking, so they really have dimension on the eye, and they're just so beautiful. Their mattes are almost always extremely pigmented, and I just feel like this is a beautiful palette. I love that we have a black in here. Well, it's more of like a charcoal kind of color, but close enough. Again, the shimmers are beautiful. I love that we have blue, purple, orange as the layout. I just think this palette is so cute, so good, so inviting, and it's colorful without being over the top, I feel. I just really enjoy this color story a lot, and then the formula from Oden's Eye is really good as well. All right, we are halfway done. This is fourth place. This is another Blend Bunny palette, and this is the Primal palette. Now, I'm very upset that this has been discontinued. Apparently it hasn't been loved by everybody, which I just don't understand because I think it's beautiful. We have a big black, big white at the bottom. I do understand not loving these shimmers. The formula here isn't great. This is one of their first palettes, and I think they were still tweaking their shimmers. But also just the shades of them, they're a little bit too deep for my liking for a shimmer, which, I mean, that's okay. Not every shade is meant for me. But the actual rainbow part in here, I think is really pretty. We have this blue shade that's kind of more of an indigo. It's not your typical blue, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. This purple has a little bit more pink into it than some other purples. I think this orange row is really pretty, and then the pink row as well. I love this lime green right there. I think we just have a lot of really good shades in this palette. Unfortunately, it is discontinued, but I think they did really well, and I think maybe just revamping it a little bit to bring it back would be a good option. What do I know, though? Okay, next for rainbow palettes. So this is Nueve Vida from Gourmande Girls and Steff's Beauty Stash. I really enjoy this palette. We have some dark shades on this side. We have some light shades here. We have a couple neons, even though they don't show up that way on camera. The shimmers in here are more of a topper shade, which I prefer that. I just think this palette is so pretty. I don't get a whole lot of use out of the two pastel shades, and then this one is more, or I guess both of those are more of a satin kind of finish, and I don't love them. I remember liking the white a little bit more than the pink, but I don't fully love those. I think this color story is really pretty, and this palette from Gourmande Girls is the best performing palette that I have from them. I think this is my fourth one from the brand. I think it performs beautifully. I think it is beautiful, and I enjoy the looks I create with it. And I really love that we have dark shades, neon shades, and pastel. I think that's a beautiful combination of mattes. And I really enjoy this palette a lot. Second place, we have a fan favorite. Okay, this is the Rick and Morty palette from GlamLite. Look at this bad boy. This is so pretty to me. I love that we have, and I don't know if it's because it has a darker background or what, but the darker shades in here just feel much more jewel tone to me than other rainbow palettes, and I think that's beautiful. I will say some of these shimmers seem a little unnecessary. I don't think we need all of the shimmers because some of them are very similar to each other. I love GlamLite formulas. They do really good mattes. Their shimmers for the most part are really good, but there's some that just aren't anything too special. But I just think this jewel tone depth, variety of shades in here is just so beautiful. I really love this palette, and look at how big this mirror is. That's essentially the whole palette. It's a good one. That's why it's second place. It's a good one. Okay, so we only have one palette left. I am kind of surprised that this is number one, but this really is everything you could possibly need for a rainbow palette. This is the Allis Atlantis palette from Blend Bunny. It's massive, it's huge, and I hate how big it is. However, look at that. This is a rainbow palette if you've ever seen one. We've got all of our rainbow shades in their varying depths. We've got a row of topper shimmer shades, which is beautiful. Love that. Favorite kind of shimmers. And then these neutrals right here, beautiful for neutrals. And then we have also the black and white section as well. Here's my problem, okay? My problem is that this is huge. It's ridiculously big, okay? But it has everything you could ever need. It's an all-in-one. And even if, like, for example, whenever I'm using this, a lot of the deeper shades aren't deep enough for me. That's okay. Let me go ahead and grab this dark brown or this black and we will adjust. I really like it. I don't want to like it as much as I do just because it's massive and I typically hate massive palettes like this. But I mean, it's good. It's real good. It's Blend Bunny quality. There's such a huge variety of shades in here. I love, especially this like yellow section. I love that we have some mustards in there. I think that's fantastic. That really adds to it for me. I do wish that the orange section was a little bit more orange and less red, because the red section is a little bit more pink, so I feel like we could have adjusted a bit, but whatever. It's not my palette. I didn't make it. I really enjoy this a lot. It's beautiful quality. It's all the shades you could ever need. Having the shimmers be toppers instead of full pigment is really beneficial when you're doing a colorful look, because you can just kind of slap it on and you can still usually see what's underneath and see what colors you used before the shimmer. Sometimes they will pop through underneath and I just think that's really pretty. I love Blend Bunny. I love this palette and I think this is truly the ultimate rainbow palette. I do not see another palette coming out anytime soon that'll beat this one in the rainbow category. Again, it's massive. You're not traveling with this anywhere. It's huge. This is like, this will fit in your laptop sleeve and your backpack and nowhere else. Like, it's massive, truly. I cannot say that enough, but it's really nice. It's really good. And they did a great job teaming up together. All right, so there is my ranking of rainbow palettes. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything, because ranking is always so hard for me. And I feel like I have them right. But there's times where I question, you know? Let me know if you would have ranked this differently. Let me know which ones you like the best or the worst. And I will see you next time. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye.